So we are recording the March 1st, 2019 Small Business Accounting Advisors. Hello, everyone.
Happy Friday.
Happy Friday.
Here comes Mark.
Hey, Mark, just in time. Perfect timing.
Like, who's that barreling down the driveway? Oh, it must be 5 o'clock.
He just wanted to be with us. I know he has his own computer, but I think he likes hanging out with you, Sarah.
I know sometimes he goes in the house.
So the first thing I want to talk about, and Tanya, I think you've had a little bit experience with this. Do you have any clients, or have you worked with clients that are starting to build their own, what I'll call recording studio?
So yes and no. So I do have a client who's a podcaster, which is kind of very similar to that. But personal experience, not from the bookkeeping side, but my father has a recording studio, my smaller one, just in the basement of his home. My brother-in-law does. We've got a very musical family. So I know lots of ins and outs on that ends of it, and enough to be able to relate to the bookkeeping side.
Awesome. That's awesome. We need to see some of those musical videos, dear.
Yeah.
I'm not musical myself. I haven't played since high school. But my daughter plays 5 instruments. I know she's teaching herself. And
wow, that's
I
very
will post
awesome.
some of those videos then.
That's awesome. Share away when you can.
I will.
Well, I went to
So what's unique about that industry? Is that what that's what you're trying to find out, is what the work?
No, just how many people. To me, once upon a time, recording studios were done by the major networks. And now with YouTube, more people are doing it. And when I say recording studio, I'm thinking of like Hector and Seth and Mariette. They have microphones. They have it all set up. They have their lights set up now so that they record really well. So I went to a client, and they are actually coaches. That's what they do. And they currently, like you said, Tanya, do a podcast, but they were getting ready to purchase cameras and that kind of thing and set it up so that they could actually be doing some videos too. So I was wondering how widespread that is. As accountants, I think we tend to be higher up in the technology than just regular people, just because we've had to throughout the years.
Right.
Screaming.
Well, on that end of things, there's a lot of technology, just like with us, with the cloud. Yeah. We can work from home. Like, my father, and he's way up north. He's very far north in Ontario, in Canada, small population. And, he produces his own CDs. He may only have sold 400 or 500 CDs, but, he can do this right out of the basement of his home. And it sounds professional quality because you can get software fairly cheap. And my daughter is actually going to school. She's just been accepted 5 of colleges. She got accepted to 5 early acceptance.
Oh, congratulations.
Which is locally, but she's going in for video editing. And it's the same thing. I worked with her when she was 12, and I got her working with some apps, and then to actually make a music video. And then when she decided she wanted to do that for a living, I said, okay, let's teach you some of this software. So I got Adobe Premiere, and I made her learn that. And
wow, that's nice. Nice.
But she knew that before she hit high school. So she's got one heck of an advancement. And she's already, between connections in the industry, she's actually already got business. She's got her own little business studio set up, and she's got business from, another accounting professional who has, done a little podcast, and they don't know how to edit, or not a podcast, a webinar type thing that they want to put up on their own YouTube channel. They don't know how to edit it. So I just have to teach her. He says to me, he says, Tanya, you really need to teach your daughter value pricing, coming from one of the value pricing queens. I'm like, I know. He says to me, she says, maybe I should charge him $10 an hour. I said, are you kidding me? She's still in high school. She's 17 right now.
Value billing, that's a great thing to teach her.
I know, but she wouldn't listen. So the best we could do, we got her to $50. It took her an hour's worth of work. She's happy as anything.
Oh,
He
yeah.
was happy with the price. He's like, she still needs to charge more, but I'll take it. But with the technology, again, anybody can do that. The 17-year-olds can do that. I mean,
Absolutely.
And your costs aren't that great.
no, they're not.
That's awesome.
You know what's kind of striking as someone who's been in the workforce for around 50 years, the barriers to self-employment are really tumbled down with the advent of the internet. I mean, 30, 40 years ago, I couldn't be working from home. I mean, think about, we would not even exist as a group without the technology.
Oh, absolutely.
We would have never met.
Absolutely.
So it's kind of, because I work from home, and I try to do as much over the internet with the Zoom meetings and the portals. I do occasionally meet with clients that are older than me, that don't like the internet, but
Yeah, I've got a client coming Monday.
it's really reduced the barriers to self-employment in terms of having to staff up an office and buy a lot of equipment and, advertising in the paper putting in classified ads and that kind of stuff.
My goodness. I don't know anybody that even reads newspapers these days and why they would even.
I don't. I mean,
I just canceled my Sunday. All I had left was Sunday, so I could actually get it online. I wasn't even doing that. It would go in right to recycle. I'm like, what a waste.
I don't really read that many print books anymore. It's primarily with a Kindle.
Yeah, I hate Kindle. I really do want to hold a book.
I'm like you, Sarah. I like the paper.
My daughter is like that. She wants that book to read and hold and keep it and have it in her collection. I'm good with Kindle.
I'd rather have like 200 books on my Kindle rather than have to look around 200 books,
Linda's talking.
Go ahead, Linda.
Linda, I see hand motions. You're breaking up.
Never mind. I won't talk.
Oh, no. We heard you that time.
Well, what happens is every time I start to talk, you talk.
I'm sorry.
It's all right. I love Kindle. And I don't know whether you know, but you can actually turn it to read sideways. So you can read it like a book with two hands. I did that for many years, but now I hold it with one hand. So anyway, but I have over 2,000 books, and I love that they're in the cloud.
Right. You can have your whole library with you at any time, any place.
Yeah, I can. I love that.
That's awesome.
Comes in handy when you have spare time. Or
they like to read.
So Gina, you were asking about like the recording studios. One of the goals with our office that we've set up, we're in process of turning one of the rooms into a video recording room. Now I don't mean like super high professional. We are doing like sound insulation inside the room. We'll have a green screen set up onto it, microphone, so forth. So the goal is to be able to do more like podcasts, have other people from the community be able to come in and use it also. And the expenses really, like, you can get some great stuff. Right now, I'm using a Logitech web camera. I use that for most of my recording stuff, as long as it's got good, clear quality. I've got a ring light that I can adjust for like more yellow versus white. And I always use that because it helps the green screen be brighter and the lighting be better. And I use a Yeti microphone. I need to get a boom mic so you don't hear like this kind of stuff, right? But it's, I've spent less than $300 so far for everything.
Isn't that amazing? Isn't that amazing, the results that you can get for under $500?
Yeah, it really is. And nowadays, like, I've always had friends that were DJs, always into music. I've got a friend, a very good friend, who has a sound recording room. You can do so much on the computer now just by having good quality inputs and outputs. You can edit everything just as clean on a big music board, just digital.
Right, exactly. And on that note, Matt, you have something to tell us about Zoom's new update.
Yeah, I don't know how many people here often check their Zoom for updates. When using the desktop version, like I'll share my screen here. when you use the desktop version, if you click on where your image is, mine probably looks different than most everybody's, right? If you're
Sure
seeing.
does.
So if you
Click Excel,
have to
maybe.
check for updates.
Yeah, is this Excel or is this, what are you looking
It's supposed to be Zoom right now if I'm showing the right thing.
No,
No.
we're seeing Excel.
Oh, is it doing that thing again? So
Uh-oh, it's doing a weird thing.
actually, I'll tell you what, go on to one other topic and I'll come right back with this. Interestingly, you can, Zoom hides itself when you're trying to display your screen.
Well, that is absolutely awesome.
I can fix that. So
So we're going to move on to Linda Russell, and Linda Russell is going to tell us about a new show or something new that Joe is adding to his seminar.
Right. And Scaling New Heights is in June in Salt Lake City. And of course, it's one of the best trainings on QuickBooks technical stuff, as well as other areas like artificial intelligence in that. But this year, he's adding a track on taxes and tax preparation in that. So plus he has a third of the sessions will be on the transformative advisor category, which is, and then he has the technical, he has two others, I think, like Excel and OneNote and that. Plus now he's added the tax prep, and that will definitely come with what you have to do when you're an EA or a CPA. You have to get
Tax representation. Eric Green.
Credits, your professional development
tax
credits.
representation.
Yes.
called CPE or something.
Right.
CPE. They need CPE.
Sorry, I don't need it, so I'm not that familiar with it. But, and it looks like at least there'll be one session on that at every time period. So it looks pretty interesting, and you can actually see it if you go over to Scaling New Heights 2019. It's one of the Woodard pages, I believe. So that's an interesting addition, and he's asking people to email him with other suggestions.
Awesome. Awesome.
How are we doing, Matthew?
all fixed.
Yay.
So
Hey, Harriet, I want to add something real quick about the Scaling New Heights tax track. Yeah, I agree with Linda. It's super cool, and they're going to have some really cool speakers, including Eric Green. I don't know if anyone follows Eric Green. He has an awesome
I do.
podcast.
He's hilarious.
Yeah, he is. He's brilliant. He's a tax attorney. He's an
I agree.
and he's really funny. And he's really brilliant. And he's going to be one of the key speakers on the tax rep and tax prep, and also tax situations, because he does a lot of basically getting people out of big trouble. And so talking about payroll audits and other type of audits. Yeah, so definitely you need to see Eric in action. He's outstanding. And of course, Don Brolin is going to be on the tax track as well. And I'm going to be on it as well.
Nice. Congratulations, Mariette.
Weren't you on one of his podcasts, Mariette, Eric Green's podcast?
I was on his podcast a couple of weeks ago, and we had so much fun. We're actually going to be doing a little teaser. We're going to actually be doing different shows at Scaling New Heights, him and I. We're going to just post up in different places and do Facebook Live. So, Matt, you're going to love that, right?
Yeah.
Actually, tax reps are a good field to get into now because of all the people that have tax problems.
Yeah. And also the easiness of joining that crowd. Now that bookkeeping, you can be more efficient. And if you wanted to, you can implement tax prep and rep and planning. And that's what we're basically talking about, is how you can integrate those services to grow your business.
Nice. Sounds very interesting.
Yes.
Okay, Matt, sharing your screen.
I'm kind of cheating. I'm going through another program to a program so you can see this stuff, right?
Okay.
So right now, this is what I was trying to show you. This is my Zoom now. If your Zoom doesn't look like this, it's probably because you need to do an update to it. And if you'll have a little sidebar. If you click on your picture, you should see check for updates. If you're on a Mac, it's up towards the top left. You click on the normal thing for a Mac and you see check for updates there. So what that does is it gives you this whole new appearance, new look for it all. And now you already had contacts capability, but the contacts are a little bit easier. You've got your full directory. If you create a channel, so I'll come in here and create a new one. We can actually set it up and call it like
SBAA, please.
Yep.
And we'll all hook up with you. I tried using contacts before, and all my contacts did not come through, believe it or not.
This makes it easier to add people in, is what I found. I'll start with these two right now and create channel. So you'll end up getting invites to be able to join it. Then once you have a group set up, if I come into, let's go back to the top here, contacts, I can actually go to my group here and say invite to meeting, and it will actually send an invite to everybody that's in that group. Awesome.
I like that invite to meeting. I have used it for other people that I know that have Zoom, and I'm trying to get in touch with them. Instead of sending them the link to the URL, just invite to meeting and they come right in. It's much easier and quicker.
Other thing that I did is I took my invite URL and I went over and I took it to Bitly and created my own Bitly with my own invite to my contact list. So I can then send that to people and it will automatically allow them, I could post it and anybody could click on it and then join my contact list or my directory that way.
Nice.
It was a unique way to just kind of simplify the process, which I liked. So,
before, real quick, Gina and Matt, I want to understand, when you invite people, the way you guys are talking about invite to Zoom, do they have to have Zoom open?
Actually, it sends an email, so they would get an email for it, is what would happen.
Well, maybe I use something different because I did call and it actually sounded like a phone for them. Like it rang and all they had to do was click on it and they were in.
You're right. That is one thing that I found, that by going this way, Linda's talked, seems like it will go to her phone faster than her computer for some reason. So I'm not too sure about that part. But yeah,
do they have to have the app open though? Do they have to have the app open to get those requests?
I don't know for sure. We'd have to test it.
Yeah, I would have to test that because I've only tried it on people that I know have Zoom, and while they don't have it open, it's sitting and running in the background on their desktop, if you know what I mean.
Okay, yeah, maybe we'll test that out. One of us will do it offline and see how that works.
I belong to a group that says SBAA, and it's just Gina, Matthew, and myself.
Yep, I just sent the 2 quick invites. So you're now part of the group.
So that happened automatically because I didn't touch anything. I was poking around in my contact list. Unless I've been there. I think you 2 have been there on my contact list. I'm not quite sure how you got there, but.
So that's a good point. Because we're already on we're on each other's contact list, it was probably more immediate. That's where I always had a hard time trying to add new people onto my Zoom because I want to be able to start a quick meeting from here, here or there.
Oh, you even gave me a message.
Yep.
You try?
Pretty neat, right? You can send files this way too, because that was always a difficulty. Like you'd have to go into your main settings. Yeah. Now this, you can share files back and forth.
Nice. I can see how that'll be real helpful with my clients. Yeah.
Contents.
Yep.
Yeah. My personal files, all files.
Zoom is probably the tool I use the most now in my entire practice.
I know, so much so that when Zoom was down that one day, I didn't know what else to do.
By the way,
Join Me was the one that I was using all the time before it logged me in.
By the way, I just put a link to Eric Green's Twitter page, and it's got a link to Mariette's podcast in there too, I believe.
Cool.
We'll put that up. I'll post it.
The Air Greens
Okay.
Twitter page. Then he has the second one's a link to his podcast.
Thank you. Thank you. And Larry, what were you saying? All right, can you talk to us?
For later, after we're finished.
Okay. Okay. Awesome. All righty. Now, the last subject we're going to talk about, Matt, you want to talk to us about projects? Big projects?
Yeah, 'tis the time of the season, right? So one of the things that I always love doing, I actually love big data cleanup projects. We've created fancy little tools that we use internally to try to make this stuff a little bit easier. So some of the things, like whenever we're doing a big project, it may seem obvious, but there's a couple things we always stress right off the bat when we're talking to a new client for the stuff. The most important, of course, is making sure that they understand you need all of the data first. Like if you're going to process a whole bunch of transactions from different accounts, don't start until you have all of the different accounts, all of the data together, if it's going to be PDFs and you have to convert it, get all that. But that way you can go through a whole process one time all the way through. If they start bringing in new data, you basically have to go through the whole process a second time in a sense.
Right.
We do some cool stuff where we'll gather all of the transactional stuff because it's historical transactions. We'll get it all organized in Excel. So we have the same columns. We had one extra column for the bank account, so you can always break it out. Then you have your date, your check number, your payee, your memo, your amount, that kind of stuff, and get it all organized. That gives you the ability, you can then sort all of that data across all the different accounts. You can sort A to Z for your memo, and you can start getting payee names and such on it faster that way. And that then leads to where what we do is we create our own QBO files. So we'll export that data into custom QBO files. We can then import into like QuickBooks Online, and we create our rules because we have the information we need. And it's kind of a unique way to get through the process faster. So if you're having to do those big rebuilds, or actually if you don't want to do them, you can reach out to us, of course. But if you're doing it, make sure that you just get all the data first, think about how to organize it nice and structured. From there, you can pull it in and do what you need from it. So,
Got it. Thank you.
Yes. Let's see here.
All righty. Well, we are out of subjects today. Anything anyone else wants to talk about?
Actually, I don't know if you guys said it before in the beginning, but I want to congratulate all the women that are nominees for the Practic Ignition's Women in Accounting Awards. There's tons of amazing, remarkable women that have been nominated. It's just hashtag Women in Accounting, and you're going to see everybody on the list. But I'm super excited for everyone. There's amazing women there, and it's super exciting. So I just want to congratulate them all, because to be on that list, they're all winners. So congratulations to all of you.
Absolutely. I agree with you 100%, Mariette.
Good point. Thank you for bringing it up. Congratulations. I think it's awesome.
I think it was like 378.
Nominees?
Yeah.
I think she said over 500.
Oh, 500 individual nominations, but 378 actual nominees, I think. That's how I read.
Oh my gosh. Wow. And out of that, there's going to be 50 chosen. I don't know how they're going to do that. That's a hard work.
I can't even imagine, because they're all good in their own special ways, actually.
Yes, absolutely.
Amazing group.
Congratulations to all of you.
Absolutely.
It's neat to see so many names that I feel like I've met or know now on there. It's really, it's really cool.
Well, every time when I go on, I see somebody else's, like somebody's new. Oh, yeah, well, that makes sense. Because I keep wondering, well, why aren't they there? But for some reason, it's not bringing it up in my feed. So
it isn't bringing it up when someone posts?
Well, unless I actually sit there and go looking for it. But when I go through my feed, for some reason, even though with some, a lot of them I'm friends with, it's not bringing them up on the feed.
Interesting.
Yeah. So I don't know. Maybe I just haven't been on Facebook too much lately, but I know, because I had a whole bunch of people congratulating me on it. And I'm like, okay, I'm sure there must be other people. And then all of a sudden, Brad Clementis up here in Canada.
Oh, yeah.
The names of the other ones in Canada. I'm like, thank you, because I had no idea. And I had to go to each of their pages individually. So if there's anybody I know that I've missed, if Facebook is not bringing me up on my feed, so congratulations.
Well, you know what I did, Tanya, is because that was, you know, I was like, how am I going to know?
Oh, you're on there too, right?
Twitter. Huh?
Yeah, you're on there too, right?
Yeah, I'm there, and then so is my friend, my partner, Vanessa. But what I told her, because she's like, we got to congratulate everyone. I said, honestly, if you want to, like every other day, go to Twitter and literally just hashtag women in accounting, and everyone will start coming up. And then go and see, you know, who you haven't congratulated yet. But I told her, I'm just doing a whole batch congratulations because I don't know if I can congratulate 400 women. That's a lot.
Exactly. See, and I guess that's my
cross platforms and go to Twitter and off of Facebook.
See, and that's exactly it. I'm more on Twitter or on Facebook. Leanne, who does my marketing, she has us on Twitter, but I guess it's on my
phone. You gotta get on there.
Yeah. Perfect. I will do that.
Somebody should make a page of it and actually have everybody listed on it. Like
that's an excellent idea.
And like just tag everybody to it. That'd be great. I mean, it's an honor that they should be like, that people could go to it and leave their comments there too, just as a place for everybody to see it.
Yeah. Absolutely. You want to do that, Matt?
I would be happy to, but I don't know that I'm the appropriate person to do it. I'd be happy to share the idea with whoever's responsible.
I don't know. It sounded like you volunteered to do it to me.
Yeah, I think so too. I'm just like,
yeah.
Alrighty, guys. On that, we're going to end for today. We'll see you all same time, same place next week.
Bye.